Okay. I'm gonna be testing a few things before.
Jalapeno, check this out. Not me. This thing on the wall right here. This light. Looks like it says Ellen's Liquor.
Okay, test. Alrighty. Seems like my mic is weird because of the whole Xbox streaming shit, but I think that'll do fine. Are we gonna wait for Dawn, or?
I mean, we might as well. So you can hear everything, so we don't have to repeat it.
Waiting too long would be a bad idea for video, but fuck it. Wait a little bit.
You want to make an entrance and ride up on our bikes, or what?
Well, it's already started, so I mean... Okay. So everything seems good audio-wise. Jalapeno, you need to add your audio.
Spicy pepper here, over.
I'll tell you how that sounds in a second.
Are we Helix yet? Do I have to say over?
Okay, there we go. It's all good. Alright, that's a pretty decent delay, but I think I can deal with that. I will keep that live, and we'll see how that goes. Alright. Now. What is going on with the fucking stream? Does it keep cutting in and out or something? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm scraping all this gunk out of my boot. I stepped in a fat
Oh, we
puddle.
can hear it.
Yeah. My bad. It was dark out.
Well, if Dawn's gonna take too long, I'll start a few things. First off, to explain the title, I guess you could say, I would like to state that, I'm gonna mute the audio first. I'll state that, whatchamacallit, the reason why, one of the biggest reasons why the, Ride or Die movement will fail is because they want to be a friend movement, a movement that everybody is buddy-buddy with, and it's exclusive to them, and they're all friends. Now, the reason why this is a bad thing is because we're an MC community. I've been in this community for a while, and I've seen multiple groups of people who want to get the community together and to help out each other and fight other communities and whatnot. The only one that I've seen that didn't get people who disliked each other in it, or calmed people down, was the one that HSK started way back when it was just HSK, me, and the original SOA before they ever changed their gamer tags, and then, well, before they even joined me, to be exact. To explain why these things don't work, I guess you could say, being buddy-buddy in these kind of movements, is because we can't all be friends. No matter who you bring in there, if we want to change the community, we need to bring everybody in there, like every single person. And you can't bring every single person in there if we all want to be buddy-buddy. A good example of that is we were brought into the Ride or Die movement, and one of Why So Serious's guys, who is a Lost Venturis group, which is under me, shot Hellraisers. And Hellraisers basically asked why did we shoot them, because we were supposed to be friends, because we're in the Ride or Die movement. I didn't accept that. I didn't accept anything like that. I'm in the Ride or Die movement because I'm here to fix things. I want to help the community. I want to play legitimately. I don't care if everybody hates each other. I don't care if everybody's friends with each other. But if we can talk to each other respectfully, get an understanding, and fix things that are wrong, like RPGing somebody off of a bike or so on, stupid shit like that, then why not? Why not speak to each other? But the people in this quote-unquote movement, more like a fan club or community, wannabe bikers who just want to be friends with each other, 99%ers to be exact, they just want to become friends. They just want to be buddy-buddy, and they just want to do all their own little things and say, fuck it. What's the point of fighting if we could all just ride together? Well, yeah, being a biker is about riding, but in the community of GTA, being a biker is more or less about fucking shit up. We are supposed to be the most feared community in this game. Why isn't that the case anymore? Y'all know why? Because the community's so split. People are very single-minded about what they want to do in this community. A good example of that is how the Mafia community and the MC community are separate beings. The Mafia community does not like it when MCs get involved. The MC community, they don't give a shit. But the thing is if you try and get them to mix, the MC community cries. At least not all of them. Not everybody in the Mafia community does either. But a lot of the groups cry about it because it's change. It's things they don't like, and it's more enemies or more of a threat to them that they have to deal with. I'll be honest, I think fighting the Mafia community is pretty damn easy. But that's only because a lot of the Mafia members or crews out right now are new. They fall apart, they start up, they fall apart, they start up, they fall apart, they start up. Same with the MC community. A lot of the MCs nowadays are pretty easy. But I mean, there's more of them to deal with, so you get a batch of pretty good people to fight. Now, one of the biggest problems with, going back to the exclusive buddy-buddy bullshit with Ride or Die movement, one of the biggest problems with that is everybody thinks that it's okay to be friends. So if I shoot at somebody, they'll get upset at me, and then that causes a problem for Ride or Die movement, apparently, because we're all supposed to be friends. Well, we're not all friends. I don't fucking like anybody in that group, except for the people that I was friends with, in general. I wasn't friends with anybody in that group before I got in there. What's the difference while I got in there? Well, nothing was the difference. They just expected me to be friends because they didn't want to fight each other. They wanted to just ride around. And that kind of mentality caused issues and caused us to get kicked out for petty bullshit. I was in another chat. Before I get into this, I need to explain the fact that there's a weird exclusive group that are allowed into the Ride or Die movement. I think we were allowed in because we were an older name. People speak about our name, and to be honest, that has nothing to do with why I should be in there. Like, oh, I'm from GTA 4? Fucking big whoop, okay? I mean, yeah, I'm a OG, okay? But that shouldn't mean I hold a higher fucking bargain than everybody else. Everybody has a voice. Everybody should have been allowed in there, but they only let in exclusive people into that meeting. And they lied to others, saying that they would be let in, and left them in other chats, so nobody knew what the fuck was going on. I was in this meeting chat, meeting number 3 chat or something like that, with another club, And this club was asking why they aren't allowed in the Ride or Die meeting. And the reason why they're not allowed in the Ride or Die meeting is because they weren't big enough, or they weren't exclusive enough, or they weren't important enough to be allowed in. The person who was running it, Clips at the time, only let in people who were important, who had a name, and who had a purpose in that group. And the reason why that's an issue is because everybody has a voice. If I'm running around outside this community and actually doing shit, I'm gonna run into these people, whether I like it or not. Like, the first time we had fucking one of these Ride or Die meetings, I ran into Young Guns, who were not invited to the first meeting, and I got RPG'd off my bike, even though that was a topic in this meeting. You can't exclude people from these meetings, because it changes nothing. Nobody gets shit done if this kind of shit goes on. And going back into what I was talking about before, like, they did this to a bunch of groups. From what I heard, there was 2 Ride or Die meeting chats, and one of them was fake. Just to fucking let people be excluded from the group, but think they're in it, and nothing happened. And then there's a third one, which was the meeting one, which other people weren't allowed in. I got invited back in there because I wanted to make sure I can fucking speak to everybody. And they were just left in the dust. Now, there was some shit that went on in that chat, which, depending on who you talk to, was stupid. There was some kid, like, Bax, the leader of Bax, Ghost, Burning Ghost, if you know who he is. He, invited some guy into the chat, and we're all chilling. There was this guy talking shit, and he was told to stop, so he stopped. And then this kid, out of nowhere, the guy that Bax invited, starts talking mad shit on this kid, for no reason. And the guy, Nuclear Designs, asked straight up, "Why are you talking shit on me? Is there a problem? I would like to know what's up." And then he got removed by Bax. And I personally said, like, that's not okay, that's not right. And his excuse was, Clips told me to. I personally told him straight up, like, brown nosing isn't cool. Like, that's not a cool thing. And I got into an argument with him. That argument, a simple argument in a different chat that is not Ride or Die, got me kicked out of Ride or Die. This is not a community to change the community. It's not to fix the community. It's a group of fanboys who want to sit there and jerk each other off because they think that they are important in the community. Somebody mentioned in that chat that people might have other agendas in that chat. Well, it's clear that they do. They just want a name in the community. There is multiple things wrong with the Ride or Die movement. One of the big things that I brought up in the Ride or Die movement was we should become not friendly, but acquainted with mafias, in the sense that we have somebody in our community, in the Ride or Die community, basically, to speak about what's being said at Ride or Die. And they would bring it to the mafias, and the mafias would speak to us, and we'd speak to them. And it would just be one mafia, nobody else. And they'd go to them all Dawn's meetings and bring up the things that we'd want to bring up. So say we're sitting there and we get RPG'd off our bike by a mafia. We could stop that. We don't get RPG'd off our bike, and we don't RPG their cars. Simple shit like that. Now, if we get shit like that done, it could easily fix a community. Not as an MC community or a fucking Mafia community, but as a GTA community. Basically what was supposed to be in GTA in general. The communities, in my opinion, shouldn't be split up, because all that does is cause a differentiation, or fucking up the word there, but yeah, a difference between people and how they play. That shouldn't be a thing, for the fact that we should all play legitimately to our standard as a community, not as the Mafia community style of legit, or the MC style legit. We're all the fucking same players at the end of the day. We should make a meta for everybody, so that way, if you know who's playing like shit, you know they're random. Some people sit there and say, like, oh, but Mafias will RPG bikers, and bikers will RPG Mafias. You know what? I get RPG'd by bikers sometimes, too. Am I gonna sit there and exit myself out of the biker community? No. Y'all know why? Because I'm not sitting here fucking whining about stupid shit. I'm actually here to do what I need to do. I'm here to run my club, and I'm here to run it hard. I don't care if you're gonna RPG me, because then you're just you. You're fucking up your name. If a Mafia RPGs me, I'm not putting that all on the Mafia community. I'm just putting it on that Mafia and that Mafia shit. I go to the next Mafia and I fight them. I have fought a lot of Mafias in this community, and some of them play legit. Gigantes got upset and would RPG me because they are scared to fight an MC. Lucas, on the other hand, fought me pretty legitimately. They fought me on ground with ARs. Now, you'll find that kind of stuff in all communities. And the Ride or Die movement seems to want to start something like that. They stated that they want to fight basically the Mafia and the military community. That was said in the first meeting. You cannot do that if the Mafia community considers us MCs third-party help, or third-party in general. And we cannot do that if we have MCs that think Mafias shouldn't be working together with us. We are a community, but yet we're so separated. And this Ride or Die movement expects to fix the MC community, but doesn't expect to fix the community in general. Another thing that I really dislike about the Ride or Die movement, I guess you could state, is the fact that we are supposed to be sitting here having these meetings, talking to each other. Yet, if you dislike somebody, that's not allowed. What's the point of doing anything with another crew if you can't dislike them? We're not here to fucking work on the goddamn PC, politically correct bullshit. We're here to fucking play a game. If I want to fight Harley God competitively, me and him have beef in the past or some shit, and I want to fight him, fuck it. Let's fight. But at the end of the day, I should be able to talk respectfully, and we should be able to fix what's wrong with what's going on. If one of his guys RPGs me, I should be able to speak to Harley God and say, hey, your guy RPG'd me. Why is this happening? And then it would never happen again. Or maybe it does, and I can basically rule out that that's a bad seed. But if it did happen again, I can still keep talking to him. I can talk to this person with respect. But you don't get that in the Ride or Die movement. You get, no talking, shit, no being mean to each other, no doing this. When it was just a simple debate. There'd be people sitting there talking normally. And it wasn't allowed. Now, Harley, is there anything you'd like to state about the Ride or Die movement?
Well, just a couple things. I mean, as far as it goes, if you place an opinion, it basically got shot down. If you weren't important in it, you got shot down. It didn't matter. Single-minded clubs, like some of them in there, are the reason why they shut down and start back up, or they just shut down permanently. There's a reason True Lost and my club have been around since GTA 4. We work with the community. When I say community, I say more than just the MC community. Can't just fix one at a time and think it's gonna happen. You gotta be able to expand your boundaries and reach out to other people. Even if you have the biggest beef with the biggest person in the world, it doesn't matter. Stop being stubborn and actually do something about it.
Jalapeno, is there anything you'd like to state? Yeah, there. Jalapeno.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Oh yeah. But Bax, he said he should bring it up to a vote, even though just to hear him out, I find that kind of bullshit. Like, why vote why vote on a matter when you just having someone else's point of idea or point of view? AKA Don, we're gonna bring Don into the chat to explain his ideas and stuff, but he said bring it to a vote, and that's kind of retarded. If we should have brought it to a vote after he discussed what he wanted to discuss, but they just shut me down because, you know, fuck me.
Yeah, that was a good point.
Yeah.
In the Ride or Die movement, one of the big things was certain people had the control of what they got to do. a good example was Bax. Bax and Clips and a few others, like the lady president that's in there. I don't know her name. Rabbit, I think her name is.
Yeah, Mad Rabbits.
They're all buddy-buddy with each other. They're all friends. So, if one person doesn't like something, they can basically get everybody else to say fuck off. So, one of the things they would do is, let's put it to a vote. Because they didn't agree with it, so fuck you. We'll just vote on it because there's more people who are friends with each other and will agree with each other than there is people who want to sit there and debate and understand other people's opinions. I sit here and I debate my point of view. He sits there, Bax sat there and stated, I don't want them because I'm an MC. I don't want mafias in our mixing in our community because I'm an MC. But he was gung-ho on the fact that we should fuck over the mafia and the military community. During the first meeting, it was brought up by Clips that we should attack both these communities. Now, one thing that's a problem with that is we need communication with these communities in order to make sure everything goes right. If we just go off attacking the mafia community right now, we're going to have a bit of a problem for the fact that a lot of mafias consider us third party. So we might get RPG'd in general, and it's just fucking pointless. It's just stupid. Second off, what are you going to do to the people who aren't in Ride or Die movement? If you piss off the military and the mafia, guess who's going to go after everybody in the community? And it's going to be Ride or Die movement's fault. I'll put it simply, you can't go after a community without an understanding. And these people do not understand the community. I am someone who goes after both military and mafia, but I don't sit here and say I speak for both of the entire fucking MC movement. I sit there and I state that I would like to bring up things about the mafia, to the mafia, about the MC community, and I'd like to bring up things, but I do not state that I represent the entire community. Go ahead, Weeman.
That was Don.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Weeman. Did you put your audio in?
Yes, I did. And I've been listening in kind of in and out here. My apologies that I was on the phone with somebody momentarily. I'll probably be back on the phone within the next 10 minutes, so I'm going to try to kind of throw my own opinion in there real quick. So, as DJ just mentioned moments ago, you cannot have a conflict between specifically two communities without an understanding. Example, if it was two crews, it would be kind of different, just strictly off the basis that it's such a small parameter of, a conflict. It could be, even if it was two commissions, it'd be a kind of a small parameter of conflict. If you're looking at, 3 crews versus 2 crews or something to that nature, you're not going to really have much of an issue because the amount of people involved are so minuscule. However, if you're sitting there, and I am, in the Mafia community, I've been in the Mafia community for quite some time now, and I can tell you right now that watching multiple different types of crews community-wise, specifically back on GTA 4, go into conflict, I can, in my head, I immediately think of when myself and DJ fought Scar, or myself and DJ fought Gigante, or we went on to, T-Lad and fought Som, and we fought the SOA and other different, different styles of crew, all sorts of military crews, or Mafia crews, and motorcycle clubs. There was always kind of a running theme that everybody had a general expectation and a general understanding as to how everything worked. Now, when you're sitting here, though, and you're looking at the current, the current development of how things are working, the issue actually comes to be at hand as to where that line is crossed. And it's crossed literally at the boundaries of the type of crew. There's a segregation, and that segregation occurred when the game first came out, as the Mafia community kind of retracted itself away from the other communities. Military communities then kind of died off due to the fact that they all had, all their stuff going on, and they just kind of fizzled out of existence for the most part for a long time. And then street gangs never really took off anywhere. Really, it was the MCs and the Mafias. MCs, however, being, the Mafias kind of pulling away from the MCs and Mafias developed this kind of disdain right down the middle. And this disdain is exactly what we have right now. This disdain has created the problems, this ecosystem in which we are incapable of working together effectively. If you want proof that Mafias and MCs can work together effectively, look at LCM, look at TLMC, look at the Forsaken Few. All 3 of us work together very effectively. We've been in this commission for months now, all together working effectively. I've known DJ for years, and we've worked together effectively throughout our entire, time together. And the fact is that the reason why we work together effectively isn't because I wear a suit and they wear leather, but it's because of the fact that we just get along as people. And in reality, all you're talking about here when you talk about mafias and MCs are people. And when you're looking at this conflict, if we're going to sit there and have this segregated system in which we don't actually understand each other and we don't actually look at each other as people and we look at each other as a third-party organization, like the mafias look at MCs as third party, and to a different title, MCs look at mafias as third party, we're just never going to have any kind of real conflict. We're just going to, as DJ mentioned, blow each other up. We're just going to sit here and disrespect each other, and we'll never actually have any type of conflict. When it comes to the Ride or Die movement, per my knowledge, of course, I wasn't involved in those president's meetings due to the fact that I'm not a president, but per my knowledge of those conflicts, or not conflicts, per my knowledge of that group, that organization, it was based around the idea of not only attacking the mafias, or at least that was a plan, but it was also based upon the idea of MC community unification. The only issue I have with that kind of with that unification process is that you can't unify through segregation. You can't do it. Back on the 360, I led something. Anybody that's in the Mafia community that is watching this stream or will watch this video afterwards is going to probably be familiar with it, called the Black and White system. The Black and White system was a system that was developed as a governmental system for the Mafia community that allowed for all types of crews, all types of Mafia crews specifically, to have a voice in the community. Before it was just all the big guys made the rules and the little guys were left out, but the Black and White system was capable of developing a way, and that's going to be for another video, another day, for me to describe all that, for all the smaller mafias and medium mafias to be capable of having a say. And that type of inclusiveness versus segregation is exactly what brought the Mafia community to a humongous, jolt in power for a very long time, until the MC update came out a few months ago, which, of course, as everybody knows, anybody who's in the MC community knows, led to an influx of motorcycle clubs starting. So, inevitably, if you want to be capable of developing, especially in a bigger community like the MC community right now, a way that everybody's included in the rules and gets the rules to be fair, you have to be inclusive. And I can tell you right now, all throughout GTA history, the mafias have always been the politics. They always have been. We've always been good at it. And I'll also tell you right now, we were better at it in GTA 4 when we had the MCs to put us in our place, when we had the militaries to put us in our place, when we had even the cartels to put us in our place whenever we would start being corrupt and whenever we'd start fucking up. So in general, if you sit there and you allow the Mafia community to be there, you don't even have to like us, just be there. You have to include us in the conversation. Not only can we sit there and be capable of presenting different ideologies that can help you in your quest to maintain stellar community peace or domestic community peace, meaning just an MC community, but as well as that, the GTA community as a whole can start to gain that type of peace. It can stop, blowing people up. It can stop doing things that are just uncanny, because it's the Mafia community that is capable of that, to be completely honest. It's myself who's capable of that. It's a lot of the bigger groups like that that are capable of that. And if you want proof of that, look at the Mafia community. Look at how it runs. Look at how much more intricate it can run in a cleaner fashion, because it does run in a rather clean fashion in comparison. And, I guess I mentioned for now.
Is that everything?
For now.
Alright. Now, one thing I would like to bring up to that is there are MCs that agree with us becoming, communication-wise, friendly with a few mafias, like fucking MC Big Yin. He agreed to that in that meeting. Some of Savage Nation agreed to it. But if we want to get a bit of a backbone with talking to the mafias in the matter of respect, we're going to need to actually get people who are willing to back us. If I just go in there, and if FFMC just go in there speaking to them about silly shit that we want to help each other with, it's not going to get anything done. If we get a group of people who actually understand that we don't want to be friends. Understand this. If I'm in a group and it's not a commission or it's not an alliance ship, it's just a quote-unquote movement, it's not for me to become friends with you. I don't know you. I'm not friends with you, but we can at least agree on the fact that the community needs to unify in the matter of fucking actually doing something useful. We're sitting here blowing each other up because we wear different fucking clothings and drive different fucking vehicles. I ride a bike. They drive a car. Those are useful in their own rights. My bike can go around things that cars cannot. Cars can defend a person better than a bike can. You know what? It's not cheap. Neither of them are. So, if we just fucking speak to each other and understand that we both fucking use ARs, we could all be friends. At least competitively. Yeah.
One big point up. You continue.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. One big point that can actually back up the claim DJ made, as to you don't actually have to be allies with these people, is back to what I was speaking on the black and white system. Black and white system was massive on the 360. I'm saying like everybody in the Mafia community, except for the people, of course, that were at the top that were making the rules. There was about 4 major political powers, which was a 5-family group that started, another 5-family group that started, and then there was the role play system. And there was those 3, and then there was another one. I don't remember what it was. They were kind of irrelevant. And then there's a black and white system. And when there was these 5 groups, it was the Alameda Commission, but they died. And when there's 5 of us, all doing this, but the black and white system took off so successfully, not because it made everybody friends, but because everybody that came to those meetings, even if they hated each other, I would literally, because I would host a meeting every weekend, I would sit there and have Dons come in and they would hate each other and they start arguing with each other, and as long as it got calmed down and there was a continuation of talking, we never even made a single rule in those meetings. Rules were brought up and sometimes they were passed, just kind of, passed out there and thrown out there and they turned into rules. But it was never about making rules. It was about the idea of getting a general idea founded. These are the type of things that we're allowed to use. This is what everybody agrees on universally. Everybody's involved. We're having meetings every weekend in which new people are showing up to every single one of them. And even if they all hate each other, which there should, because it's this community, this is a violent community, it still shows that people are showing up so that they can say what they want to say and they can showcase what they want to do. Because I'm going to tell you right now also, for anybody who's sitting out there, MC, Mafia, Cartel, whatever you are, if you're sitting there and you're in a smaller Mafia or a smaller MC and you've got 5, 10 members, most of them are prospects or most of them are associates, whatever else, and you're sitting there and you're looking and you're going, well, what kind of contribution can I make? I will tell you right now, that system was 100% successful because of people like you. Because if you have a lot of ants can beat a lot of lions, if you've ever heard that term. Because one ant is nothing, but a lot of ants is a very, 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 useful force. That's why ants work in, big colonies, because they're tiny and they don't work together, or they have to work together, otherwise they're not useful. So even if you're small, as long as there's a lot of people that are banding together to do one thing, they can get a lot done. For the United States. That's literally what the founding idea of the United States is. So if you look at that, that's exactly how it is. You just have to remember, your voice matters as long as you propel it. A tiny person can propel their voice far. They can propel it all the way across the room. So you just have to make sure that no matter how small your crew is, no matter how tiny you are, no matter how many members you have, you can propel it just as long as you show up and you speak fluently, clearly, and at least with a little bit of intelligence. Like, speak clearly. Make sure that your voice is heard. Just make sure that it's there. And even if you disagree with me and DJ's ideals, make sure that you're showing up. Make sure that you're actually having conversation and you're trying to present a real case. Don't just say, I don't like MCs because MCs wear leather and they're just another crew. They're third party. Present a real case. Present a reason why you hate mafias, for example. I don't like mafias because this, and this. Well, okay, but what, how are we going to actually be capable of looking at that and making it into a real reason? It can't be something like, well, I've had bad experiences with mafias. Then you don't work with mafias, but that doesn't mean that you don't agree. That doesn't mean that you don't follow the same rules with them. Even if you don't want to work with them, even if you don't want to be allies with them, you can hate them all you want. But you just have to make sure that you're looking at the community as it is. It's one community, not 2. And DJ, if you want to continue, you can now.
All right. Well, to add on to that, The way to push this community, I guess you could say, would be to how would I put this? It's hard to explain. Give me a second.
Well, I know that myself, I'm going to be anybody in the Mafia community that would be possibly listening in on this, or even if any MCs want to pop in at a later time. I'm planning on hosting an All Dawns meeting within the next probably 2 weeks, so if anybody wants to have a conversation and even possibly wants to get involved in that conversation, my gamer tag is LCM, capital LCM, a lowercase x, and then a capital D, a Dawn. Just capital D, lowercase O-N. So LCMX Dawn. If DJ is looking at the party screen right now, you can see my thing. I don't know if he is or not. You cannot do that? Okay. Then, you know, I'll just type it in the thing, and you'll probably see it. If you can't, then oh well, you'll figure it out. But it's really easy. LCMX Dawn. Look me up, message me, whatever you gotta do, and, you know, we'll have to have the conversation. MC Mafia, doesn't matter what you are, we'll have the conversation, and we'll, you know, see about getting you involved in the conversation and talk about it. Because we do want, you know, all of your opinions, everybody's, so that we can get the entire community talking. So.
Okay, yeah, that adds into what I was gonna say. Sorry, there was people talking around me, so I couldn't fluently state what I was saying. But
Right.
we need everybody in the community. No matter, like, one thing that bothered me at the beginning of Ride or Die movement, Hellraisers were not going to be invited because of how they play, and everybody's talking shit on them. I personally don't like Hellraisers. I'm not chill with them. They're not chill with me. But I sat there and I told everybody straight up, they have an opinion that needs to be said. They should be there, and they were let in. But they were going to get kicked out if I didn't sit there and express that these people fucking need to say what they need to say. We're not going to be able to fix a community if their opinions aren't heard and they don't hear our opinions either. We might not agree with these opinions, but as long as we understand each other opinion-wise, we can understand what their reasoning is and what our reasoning is, and maybe we can change some opinions. Doesn't mean that I'll do it. Doesn't mean I'll change your opinion. Doesn't mean Dawn will change your opinion. Doesn't mean anybody will change my opinion, or vice versa. Like, it could work, no matter how fucking annoyed you get at expressing your opinion. This is a place where you should be able to do it. Just either message LCMX Dawn, message me, and we will speak. We want to speak in general, for the fact that that's the way you fix a community. The Ride or Die movement sitting there stating that they're here to fix the MC community. No, they're not. You want to exclude people from a movement? You're not fixing shit. You're excluding people and sitting there riding with a bunch of people that you want to fucking chill with. The way you fucking fix a community is get everybody in there, no matter how harmful their opinions are. Hell, I would even have the original SOA in there if they were still alive. Me and them don't get along. I could never agree with a single thing they fucking put down on the table, but I would have them in there because they're an opinion, and their opinion needs to be heard, as they are a part of this community. And that's why I bring up the fact that we should speak to the the Mafia community, for the fact that Mafia community is somebody we're fighting. And the Ride or Die movement wants to attack both the Mafias and the militaries. You should speak to them before you do that. Not because we should be friends. I'm not friends with all the Mafia community. But because you gotta fucking put down some ground level to make sure everybody's legitimate. Or at least everybody's having fun in what they're doing. The reason why people exclude themselves is because they're sick and tired of being RPG'd. Why do you think nobody deals with the military community anymore? The military community died off quite heavily in the few years back, and they're just coming back. The only way to keep this going is if people play to the terms that we all understand on. I'm cool with SGMI and GOW. If I'm fighting an MC, and that MC's fighting legitimately, they'll get on the ground and use ARs. Why can't we do the same with a Mafia? You know? Like, LCM does the same, but why can't I go on into a lobby with somebody else, and I'm fighting them, and they just play ARs? There's a few Mafias that do that, like Lucas. But like I said, Gigante would RPG me, and Gigante followers will do the same. We should be able to speak to each other, in a sense. I would love to go to an all Dons meeting to see what goes on. And I'm sure Don would be willing to speak to all, like LCMX Don would be willing to speak to a bunch of MCs. And I don't see why that's so wrong. We gotta speak to each other to fucking understand each other. If a bunch of Dons want to sit there and tell me off because I ride a bike, fuck it. Let them do that. But at least let me fucking say my piece as well, you know? But, yeah, that's about it on the fucking Mafia side, I guess you could say. Harley, do you have anything to say?
Going back to what we were talking about with the voting, and the whole idea of them wanting to vote the whole Mafia ordeal. Who in the hell voted for those guys to, like, Bax to lead meetings and stuff like that? Who is Clips? Like, these names, I do not know. They're single-minded people. All they want to do is just hang out with each other. They have nothing to do. If you look at their friends list, or just even, you know, hang out with them, they hate everybody. Like, there's a certain group of people. Clip started this meeting and all this, and what happened? His MC shut down. Why do you think his MC shut down? You know, just
personally,
look,
I believe that he couldn't handle the pressure of what was going on with the name putting down on his crew. Clips wasn't the leader of his MC, but he was running a lot of what was going on. And there's so much pressure of this, I don't think his club could handle it, personally. That's just my opinion. I don't know what exactly happened. Go ahead, Harley.
If his club couldn't handle the pressure of that, what do you think? He can't handle the pressure of all this meeting. Like, I understand what he was trying to do, and I respect it, but at the same time, like, you gotta realize that this game, this community, is a lot bigger than just the MCs. It really is. The whole, okay, I'm fighting a military crew, another MC comes in, let's expose them for being in a jet for defending themselves. That's ridiculous. Things like that, and people making money, and CEOs, and doing MC work, and being in helicopters and stuff, and let's grow up, guys. It's a damn video game, okay? In the long run, if you want to make the game fun and have fun with it, I'm down, but why even try to make stuff on Instagram talking shit? Like, get over it. That's all I really got to say about that.
Alright. Jalapeno?
I got none.
Alright. Don, is there anything else you would want to add? I guess he disappeared. Alright. So,
Nope, I'm right.
those are my reasons. Oh, you're there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
I accidentally muted my mic. I muted my mic so that I wouldn't talk over people. Well, when it comes down to the Ride or Die movement by it. So the thing is about that is I also wanted to bring up. So Harley said, you know, about who voted those people as kind of like the heads. I also want to kind of ask, like, who, you know, who kind of made sure that was going to even transpire into kind of like a community thing. Like, who made sure that would happen? But then, relative to that, how does it transpire into a community movement when the community is not involved to it, or invited to it? Like all the MCs. I'm not even just talking about the Mafia. I'm talking about all the MCs, because I'm kind of curious as to how that movement, what was the overall ambition of that movement when it first began? If you could explain that to me, DJ or Harley.
The basic premise of it was to fix the MC community. Clips posted some shit on fucking Instagram saying, there's gonna be an all presidents meeting, blah 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 blah, message me for details, and a bunch of people messaged him. I think it was a lot more than he was expecting. I think he was gonna do this to try and get a name, I guess you could say, in the community, and possibly change some things. to be honest. I'll be 100% honest. The community has been a lot better these past few weeks since GFOD and them have been around. Like, before then. Like, before now, GFOD and them were around. They were just RPGing. They were TDM crews. They didn't wear their patches. They didn't do anything. They'd tank you. They'd jet you. They'd do all that stupid shit. The past week... Not the past week. The past months that fucking... This whole ride or die movement shit began, everything's been pretty good, to be honest. There's been RPGing off of bikes, but I mean, nothing wrong. And it's not because of the ride or die movement, because I'm stating this as it was before the ride or die movement. Everything was chill, and then all of a sudden this guy wants to fix the community. I mean, yeah, there is things wrong with the community, but it's not a huge issue. But
Right.
that's why I think he was just trying to get a name. But the premise was just fix the community. And when we got in here, when we got into the first meeting, everybody stated one thing that they feel should be fixed in the community. Pretty much everybody agreed with what everybody had to say. Except for Rabbits, which I disagreed with, was everybody should be friends. Fuck you. I'll state that much. Fuck you. But, other than that, like, it was pretty unanimous on what everybody wanted. Like, we were all going to be fucking respectful on a lot of rates. And all of a sudden, Bax got fucking power hungry and decided just, oh, he can kick me because I disagreed with him in another chat. I mean, oh, that's great. Oh, you don't want to work with mafias? Let's vote it so nobody else gets a say because I'm friends with everybody and everybody will choose my fucking thing. I mean, come on. We offered to let you in there, Don, to express how it would help in both long run and a good run, and how you would help the community in the MC side and whatnot. They didn't want to hear it. They said, "Fuck it, just vote it. We're not going to hear." And so it was never heard of. And they're sitting there saying, "Vote on it, vote on it." How are we going to vote on it? I asked straight up people, "How are we going to vote on this?" Nobody answered. Because they didn't want an answer. They just wanted to fucking make sure that mafias weren't a part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't the majority of the people saying that, oh, don't let them in the community. It was a handful of people that were all heads of the group for no reason whatsoever, other than Rabbits because she has tits. But other than that, nobody else was fucking... Nobody else was at the top of the community, or put up atop the movement, I guess you could say. Because of no reason. Like, you had to be friends with Clips, and you had to suck Clips off in order to fucking understand that you were getting somewhere in that community. And I mean, I'm not like that, so I didn't get a say in what was going on in the community. I could say something, and it could be brought up to an opinion. That's about it. But me getting kicked out, it's just one person's opinion, and I get kicked. That's the kind of stuff that goes on in that group. And it was supposed to be out of fixing the community. And... That's it. Nothing happened to that.
Basically, when this meeting started, he wanted to do the pyramid effect. The crews that were in there were well-known crews in the first meeting that people knew. And
there's a few unknown.
Well, yeah, there's a few that weren't known, but that, get the picture. A lot of them that were known. But he wanted, basically, after the meeting was over, to... Oh, shit, sorry, dude. Fucking... He wanted to have like a pyramid effect where basically we bring other MCs in and we explain the situation to them, and then like keep bringing MCs in and keep telling them, just like a pyramid effect would work. They tell them, they tell them, they tell them, and so on and so on. But it's not gonna work. Everybody's got different opinions and agendas.
He wanted me to run my own group. He wanted Bax to run their own group. He wanted everybody to run their own group. Nobody did that, first off. Because you can't do that. It just doesn't work.
Right.
Second off, it just fucking... That doesn't make sense. Like, how is my group gonna vote with another group? All that's doing is segregating more people.
Exactly.
The Ride or Die movement is a failure of a movement, in my honest opinion, for the fact that it was not brought up under means that work. It only gave power to those who feel like they belong up in power, but they don't. What's up, Visions? I can't speak. But go ahead, Don.
Well, when it comes to movements like that, I mean, I've always seen that those kind of come up, and they tend to come up pretty frequently, to be honest. I've noticed those type of things come up pretty severely too, at least in the Mafia community. I've seen them come up, and to be honest, just as
in the MC community.
Yeah, in the Mafia community, it's frequent, but just actually, as history will tell through the Mafia, as I've said before, political things like this tend to spark up pretty frequently in the Mafia community. We're actually really good at it. And I will say this much, it never works. You want proof to that? There was the five, there were two of them that started up about, both started up at the exact same time, so there was 10 families, and each of them considered themselves a member of the 5 families. They didn't even know which 5 families they were part of in some cases. It was ridiculous. And essentially what the goal of both of those 5 family groups was they would start up, they would be the 5 family commission, and then they would own a second commission. Both of them did this, that had as many crews as they could possibly cram into their commission as possible. And if you were in that commission, you got to stay at these meetings, and you got to vote on behalf of the entire community. And if you were not part of that commission, you basically were just a peon that got to watch. And what ended up happening was one commission fell, the other commission thought it took power, but then everybody else was, doing their own thing. Either they were, part of role play, or they were black and white, which most of them were black and white, like 95% of them were black and white. And then the black and white system, took off, and those commissions ended up just losing their power off the fact that nobody else was listening to them other than their own commissions. And honestly, that no matter what, it doesn't even take another movement. If you're sitting there and you're running your political system based entirely upon who's part of that political system, that you're only going to listen to them, you're not going to get anywhere, because you're not going to attract, example, if you're in the United States, you know that the right wing is the Republican Party and the left wing is the Democrat Party. They don't just sit there and appease straight to their own people. There's a thing called a libertarian, or the swing voter. And that's the voter that they're trying to win over. Whenever you have a presidential candidate that's sitting there and having a conversation saying this is what I want to happen, you don't have them sitting there and talking to their own voters, because a Republican Republican presidential nominee already knows he's going to have the Republicans voting for him for the most part. But he's going to sit there and he's going to try to rally up the libertarians. He's going to try to rally up, the middle ground conservatives and such like that, the people who are in the middle that he's trying to win over. And if you're going to sit there and you're going to completely stick over to your party and who is 100%, alt-right per se to your party and 100% stuck on your party and won't, has no, opposite values, then you're not going to get anywhere, because all you're going to do is stick to your own little bubble. And inevitably, people do switch sides. It happens. And inevitably, people in your commission or in your bubble will disagree with something you have to say, and they will probably find somebody who has more shared values with them. So you're never going to win in politics unless you're sitting there and you're capable of compromising with what the crowd wants. And if you're able to sit there and have everybody's general respect and general, okay, we're going to agree to this and this is what we want. That's the way that you can do it. You're not going to be able to. You can't, you have to be able to hit those libertarians and even some of the lesser left if you're right. If you're right, you have to be able to even get some of the lesser left and pull from them too. You have to pull as many people as possible onto your side. Winning politics isn't about appeasing your own side. It's about adding more to your side and getting more people on your side. That's how you win in politics. And secluding an entire community strictly because you don't like them, or secluding Hellraisers or Lost MC because you don't like them, no, that's not going to go anywhere. The second that they did that, they lost their legitimacy, and they're losing. I guarantee you, they're going to lose a lot of political influence by doing stuff like that. That's my speech.
That kind of bleeds into what I was stating before about how we can't just sit there and exclude people like HRMC. People might not like how HRMC play, but you got to give them the chance to speak, or else nothing's going to change. Like, if you're trying to fucking push for legitimacy, you can't just sit there and say, fuck you, you're not allowed in this. This is for us. That doesn't make sense. Because then you're just excluding them, and they're just going to do what the fuck they want.
Exactly.
They're going to be there no matter what.
Out. Yeah. They kicked me out, but I'm going to sit there and fucking do what I want. Like, no matter if they go off and make a rule, I don't accept those rules. I don't know those rules. So how are they gonna fucking sit there and state that these are the rules now? I didn't get a say on that. And that's just how these things fucking fail. Like, it's not about becoming fucking up there in the community. It's not about making a name. And when I got kicked out of the group, that's what my reasoning of being kicked was, apparently. I'm just there for my reputation. I don't give a fuck about my reputation. I went to that first meeting and people were fucking sitting there bleeding their hearts out to fucking state things about me that I didn't even say myself. You know what? I don't like that kind of shit. That shit's a fucking annoying.
Yeah.
I'm here to fucking make sure everything's competitive and fun. Not to feed my own ego. I don't need to do that. And I don't enjoy when other people try and do that for me, and I don't enjoy doing that myself when I don't need to. I do that as a scare tactic, and you know what? It works sometimes. But you know what? Holy shit. But, you know what? The whole bullshit of feeding somebody's ego, that's ride or die movement right there. I'm not doing that. Harley's not doing that. Fucking the people who are kicked out aren't doing that. Fucking Outlaws aren't doing that. High Life aren't doing that. E5 aren't doing that. You know who's doing that? Bax. Rabbit. Everybody who joined the Ride or Die movement and is sitting there trying to become friendly with each other. This isn't a movement anymore. This is a commission. This is a commission of people who want to basically become friends with each other to change the community. But you can't change the community with a commission. You have to change it with an actual movement or a group that isn't friends with each other, but has an understanding. These people don't understand anything. They don't respect what goes on in the community because it's not about them. And you know what? I'm sorry, Princess, but this game's not about you.
Nope.
This is basically going to be a very simple statement. I'm here to do what I can for the community, and people won't agree with everything I state. And you know what? They should come here and tell me what they disagree with, so I can understand their point. And I want to hear it. If you cannot sit there and state your own opinion, then don't state an opinion at all. Because this is an area where stating an opinion isn't important. This is a game, yes, and people might say, oh, you're taking it too seriously. But, no. You want to make a change for this community? You want to fucking prove a point in this community? You gotta be respectful. You gotta put down an argument. You gotta put down a debate. And if I can debate you, that's good. If you disagree with my debate, so what? I'll disagree with your debate. You'll disagree with my debate. We'll move on. But at least we can speak to each other. And that's what matters.
What they don't get is they think it's all about them. They don't realize the community's a lot bigger than them. It's a lot bigger than us. It's about everybody. Not just one crew, one commission, one movement.
So when it comes down to things like this, now, of course, something that I think everybody's going to have to come to the realization with, and this is everybody on every front, is that political ideologies do tend to span from friendship. And it is true, like, that is true. So if you ever see people working together, you're more than likely watching 2-3 people, example, me, Harley, God, and DJ, that came together and we said, well, we all share similar ideologies, so we're going to push them. And the fact is that when we're looking at these ideologies, of course, there's going to be, a kind of a friendship, but the difference being, the complete difference being the fact that we're also sitting here and including voices that disdain us. We're not going to agree with other people. What you need to honestly come up with the realization is the fact that people have to be capable of disagreeing with you, and you have to be able to disagree with people. I'm very much so on the side of everybody, like of everybody that's on the small end. That's always been my politics, is small people. And what I will say is that if you're sitting here, all the small people out there, like, I can't stress it enough, if you're smaller, do not worry for even a second about being bullied into a political idea, because no matter what, your opinion is going to get a lot farther than you can assume. And I can guarantee that no matter what, your opinion will get farther. All you have to do is make sure that you are capable of pushing it. And honestly, if you want a perfect platform to push it, come to me and DJ. You and Harley God, you will get your position, pushed. Like, we can get you into a meeting and into having a conversation. We'll bring it up in conversations like these on on live streams. That kind of thing will occur. It's very, it's very simple. Like, that's not that's not even a discussion. Like, we can do that because that's something that is, that isn't disputed, or that's not disputed, and that is something that is important. So that is something that we will obviously be bringing up consistently. So you just have to make sure that you're willing to sit there and have the conversation. You just have to show up, talk to us, actually attempt to talk to us, and I guarantee you it'll happen. All you have to do is show that you actually want to have the conversation.
And we're not sitting here trying to state, oh, fucking, we're here to push your agenda, push your opinion. If your opinion agrees with us, come speak to us. Hell, I'll live stream it. Fuck it. We'll live stream it. We'll speak about it, and we'll debate it. And your opinion can be pushed, and your opinion can be shown to a variety of people. I mean, I don't have 1,000 fucking subscribers on my YouTube channel. I don't have 1 billion fucking people on my stream. But I mean, I can put it to an ideal where people can see it. And I can spread it around a bit. I'll debate you, you debate me, and you'll speak about it. But at least your opinion will be out there. My opinion will be out there. And we'll speak about things that we dislike in this community. That's a real movement. That's a real push for what we want to do. Not excluding people because they disagree with you. I'm here for equality in everybody. For the fact that I like fighting people. People sit there and like, oh, you're an asshole. You like fighting and that's all you like to do. I'm competitive. I am an asshole. But the thing is I'm competitive. And this is the game that you should be competitive too. This game isn't good for competitive. It's a shit game. But I mean, we're a community based off of a game that's very fucking competitive. Why isn't anybody striving for that competitive bullshit anymore? Hell, I'm not even stating this for just the MC and the Mafia community. I would, if I had the ideal, I would make it so the military community was on board with playing 100% legitimate at times, or had respect. Like, I go on GTA 4 years later, and I go up against a pilot, and I fight him. I crash my helicopter because I haven't flown in years, and he goes and picks me up, and gives me another helicopter so I can fight him. Do you find that kind of respect in GTA 5 anymore? No. Why can't we strive for that? Not just in the military community, but in the MC community, in the Mafia community. But let's not call them that anymore. Call it the GTA community. Because that's what we are. There will be randoms, and randoms will random. But we are the community. We are the ones that make the meta. The jet pilots learn how to fucking fly backwards with a goddamn laser. I sit here learning different fucking tactics for shooting. There's the claw, there's the fucking, there's everything.
Right,
like, there's fucking RB, yeah.
I mean,
there's RB running around.
I could tell you
and
about
there's
that.
like, we're making the meta. Why aren't we fucking defending our meta instead of just breaking it? I have people sitting there saying, oh, GTA 4 wasn't a competitive game, it's a free roam game. GTA 4 is one of the most competitive games I've ever played, on par with fucking like games like Counter-Strike. It's just people don't know our niche. We should do that to GTA 5, so that way we can make GTA, in a sense, great again. I guess I'll quote Trump on this, because there's no one who will listen to us better than Rockstar if we work together. And to be honest, this isn't what this is about. But if we actually were able to make all our communities work together, we could strive for a game that works. Strive for a game that doesn't have fucking whatchamacallit, head glitching, or fucking resurrecting, or eating headshots. My fucking biker helmet shouldn't eat headshots. The bulletproof helmet shouldn't eat headshots. None of that shit should happen, because everything should be legitimate. What happened to Grand Theft Auto and keeping it as balanced as possible? GTA 4 had all the weapons balanced as fuck. The only thing that you could consider a little bit quote-unquote OP was the Annihilator, but you could RPG that thing if you knew what you were doing. You could do anything if you knew what you were doing. Ballad had an auto shotty that shot faster than the minigun in this game. Y'all know how you combat that? With a fucking shotgun on a bike. And those things fucking combated each other perfectly. Or you just get the pistol that has the range of an AR, and you can use that to fight it. And it's automatic. Everything fucking equals out. Or hell, even the Ballad, where a buzzard can spam rockets forever. But to combat that, you can get an Annihilator that shoots explosive rounds. But to combat both of those things, you can get a sniper rifle with explosive bullets, or a shotgun with explosive bullets. Where's that kind of shit in GTA anymore? Why are we just fucking feeding the military/random crew? No offense to military crews. Why are we just sitting here feeding the groups that don't need this kind of stuff? Because they just leave the game in a week anyways. Like that fucking kit car. Yeah, it's cool. It can jump over shit and have a parachute. What's the point of it? Honestly, what is the point of that? Is there anything to fucking combat that? Yeah. Until you do a challenge and make that thing fucking invincible. Then what's the point of it? But this isn't a video to complain about GTA. This is a video to complain about Ride or Die movement. And that's the kind of stuff that we could change if we really wanted to. If we fucking put our mind to it and we kept everybody in the community. Not just people who we decide. Like mafias, militaries, fucking MCs, hell, even street gangs or whatever, as people are saying in the Twitch chat right now. Like, we could have everybody in this community, and why not? What's the difference? Does anybody here understand a difference between exclusion? Like, why would that be a good thing? Can anybody give me a reason? Something about fried chicken, but no. Harley? Harley?
No.
Okay. You watching a video?
Watching Twitch.
Okay. Let's bleeding through
God.
the mic a little bit.
Sorry.
It's all good. But like, I'll be honest. I can see the community doing great things if we actually put our mind to it. The only thing we need to do is actually do it. Actually fucking work together and speak to each other. I don't need to be friends with anybody who speaks to me. And you don't need to be my friend. All we gotta do is fucking come to an understanding. I'm sure most of the community just wants to use ARs only when it comes down to the Mafia and the MC community. And you know what? There's people who sit there and get upset when other groups use RPGs. But they'll do it because we're quote-unquote third-party help or the variant of the opposite side. Nobody likes being RPG'd. And I'm sure nobody enjoys straight-up RPGing all the time either. I think everybody would be down to fucking just AR and do simple shit like that. But there's people who just don't want to talk about it. And I think this is the perfect time to do so.
Well, I think that generally speaking, when it comes down to things pertaining to, say, mafias and MCs using specific types of weaponry, the thing that I've always found to be kind of funny is the fact that, I mean, it doesn't really matter how you look at it as to why it is that things happen or why it doesn't happen. Like, you know, when it comes to using, you know, hold on one second. When it comes to watching, or, you know, not watching, when it comes to using weapons like assault rifles and RPGs and such of that nature, I've always come to the realization that whether you call it roleplay or whether you just call it sportsmanship, because, you know, a lot of people do it off the basis of, oh, we're being roleplay. Our mafias don't actually use RPGs, so we're not going to actually use them. Some people do it off the sportsmanship ideology that, well, we're just not going to be trash, so we're not going to blow somebody up. I've come to the realization that on either front, motorcycle clubs and mafias both share that exact same ideology. Both motorcycle clubs and mafias. They do. It doesn't matter. They do. And the fact is that we tend to share that ideology until we actually look at each other for some reason. Like, we look at each other and we're just so petrified by the fact that we look different that means that we just throw everything out the window, and it doesn't make sense to me. Because it's not like, and not trying to bag on military crews, but it's not like we're military crews in which we're almost in a way expected to use military vehicles and military weapons, just because they're, have military in the word. But, the fact is we're not those things, but yet we still kind of have this odd expectation as to that this is supposed to happen, which just doesn't make sense to me, because it shouldn't. Both crews are competitive crews. It doesn't make any difference. Like, I guarantee you, if I'm going to do a team deathmatch, for example, against another crew, it's either going to be a Mafia or a motorcycle club, because these are the two types of crews that are the most competitive. The rest of the crews don't tend to be as competitive. They tend to be competitive, but not as competitive. So what I want kind of everybody to think about while we're having the conversation, or while you're listening to me talk or whatever else, I want to make sure that everybody takes that thought that, whether it's roleplay or whether it's, sportsmanship, both have the same ideologies, so why aren't we following both ideologies? Why not? Like, why is it not happening? Because it doesn't make sense. Like, it just genuinely doesn't make sense.
We could easily fix that. And you all know how? We speak to each other. But nobody wants to do that, and it's annoying. You and me sat down one day, spoke to each other, and boom, we're chill. And we're able to back each other from both sides of the community, I guess you could say. But I mean, why can't I do that with anybody else? Is it because they're not from GTA 4? That shouldn't be a reason. You're from GTA 5 and GTA 6 is fucking around the corner in a few years. What are you gonna do then? You're gonna be GTA 5 OGs. Oh no. What are you gonna do? Your name is gonna carry weight if you're still around. And we need to speak, so that way everybody's involved. What if GTA 6 is more fucking competitive and it leans more to GTA 4's shooting style? Are you just gonna fall apart because your way of gameplay isn't there? And everybody's fucking dogging on you? No, we all gotta speak. Why can't we do it now? Like, it's difficult. Like, I want to be in an All Dawns meeting, not because I feel important, because I want to see their ideology. I want to debate them. I want to speak to them. And you know what? I feel like not just me being there, I feel like a lot of people should be there. A lot of MCs should be allowed to speak to the Mafia community, as a whole. I feel like a lot of Mafia should be able to speak to the MC community as a whole. And that's why I want to start what we're doing here.
And when it comes down to that too... Oh, continue?
Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead. When it comes down to that too, we're not also sitting here, I just want to make certain of this, and this goes also back to GTA 4 and people who are back on GTA 4, because obviously anybody from GTA 4 will tell you, even back then there wasn't like 100% community unification where we're all holding hands and coming to meetings together. There was all Dawns meetings back then, just like there was President's meetings and vice versa. But what I will also say is that back then there was still the decent understanding as to how things worked. And there would be times, matter of fact, I remember one time I actually had Mr. J Soprano in 2013, I think, was holding a meeting, and I actually invited DJ to that meeting, and DJ and Mr. J Soprano got into a debate at that meeting, because why not? But it wasn't over the fact that he was an MC and Jay was a Mafia. It was the fact that they disagreed on policies that were being produced within the GTA community. That fact right there is exactly what I'm talking about with, we don't actually have any real differences. The only differences that we have is the fact that GTA 5 kind of produced this look. Back on GTA 4, you didn't have weapons that you didn't spawn with weapons. You didn't have a garage full of cars or bikes, and you didn't have leather jackets unless you were playing T-Lad. So everybody looked the same. You didn't have suits. Everybody was dressed the same, and I'm thinking of the original GTA 4. If we're talking about the original, everybody was wearing like track suits and shit like that. And you spawned in, you had to pick up your weapons, and you didn't have a car that you just spawned with. You had to find a car that you liked, if you even found one you liked. Otherwise, you pretty much went and got a helicopter or something. But in reality, or you had a modder, but that's different. But the fact is that no matter what, there was no difference back then. And the fact that there was no difference is exactly what made the game work so much more effectively between the two communities. That doesn't necessarily mean we have to have MCs coming to every single All Dawns meeting. It doesn't even mean we have to have 10 MCs and 10 Mafias sitting there. There can still be, segregated meetings. But the fact is that no matter what, because, of course, it's the Mafia community. We're going to mostly want to talk to Mafias just because it's that. I know how Mafias are. And I'm going to imagine, motorcycle clubs are the same way. It's called a homogenous society. A homogenous society is exactly like that. It's a society that is all the same. And I'll tell you right now, homogenous societies are good and all, but you also have to be able to talk to your neighbors. That's just how it is. Like every example you think of a country, think of a homogenous country right now, any of them. And I'll guarantee you the ones that are struggling are the ones that aren't talking to the countries next door. Because that's just how it is. Because they're the ones that are going to end up going to war. They're the ones that are going to end up living in fear. They're going to have more disease because they don't have trade, and they don't have food because they don't have trade, and they don't have anything because they don't have trade. And that's a problem. You have to still be capable of trading. And part of trading, for example, in this situation would be, okay, well, hey, I'm a Mafia. I'm going to blow you up whenever you're on your bike because I don't like your bike. Wait, hold on for a second. Don't do that. I like my bike. Don't blow up my bike. That's rude. Okay, well, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the agreement? Meet in the middle somewhere. I'm not going to come up with an agreement right now, but meet in the middle somewhere. If that even is an issue. I don't even think it's really an issue. Maybe if you said some shit like, okay, well, we don't like you in cars. Okay, so free mode wars, we just won't be on our bikes or in our cars. And now I'm not saying that's going to be a rule, but I am saying that is an example of coming up with a meet in the middle, a baseline plan, and you have to be capable of doing that. Even if we're not going to sit here and sing Kumbaya and, sit around a campfire with hand holding. I don't even want to do anyway, don't touch me. But if we're going to sit there and do anything, we have to be capable of coming up with a conversation and being able to say, okay, this is how it is. I don't want to blow you up. You don't want to blow me up. You don't want to minigun me. I don't want to minigun you. Let's do it. Because honestly, back to it, that's exactly what the problem is, in my opinion. GTA 4, nothing was given to us, so we just had to work with what we had. Nowadays, we see privilege. Nowadays, we see mafias are looking like suits. Bikers are looking like fume sniffers. That is how it is. We don't like each other. And because we don't like each other based off of that just stupid preconceived idea, we can't work together. And even if we don't like each other and we don't want to be allies, we still need to be capable of coming up with a way that everything works fairly against one another. Because otherwise, you just can't do anything. You can't. You literally can't. It doesn't work. So there's my rant. If anybody wants to take the podium here, you can.
Oh, before you do, Harley and Weeman and Jalapeno, if you're there, could you kick the guy who joined our lobby? Mr. Franks a lot. I think you've been talking to him, Don, but I don't. Oh, he's listening to the stream. Okay,
Yeah,
never mind. I think he's good then.
Yeah, he's listening to the stream.
I was gonna
he'll
ask
be
if I
good.
should
Okay,
if I
okay.
come to the compound.
But,
He's with LCM, actually, in a way. So.
Okay. Just making sure. Don't want any issues, I guess you could say, while we're speaking. Just so
I
things
feel
don't get off track. But go ahead, Harley.
this community nowadays, I find a lot more people not being loyal to their own crew. Like, that's the biggest thing. These patch grays, people sending rats into other clubs or other mafias, etc. Like, just communicate with people, man. Like, you don't have to... I don't know, it just
Don't
makes
have
me...
to.
Well,
You don't have to do all that. Take the time of going into, the time of sending somebody into the crew to find out information. If you want to know information, go up to them and ask them. Be like, hey, what's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on that? I mean, you just got to work with people. Talk to them.
Well, I'm going to personally have to say I'm going to disagree with you on that, Harley. And I'm going to disagree with you on it strictly because I don't necessarily think of spies and rats as a political thing like that. Like, okay, what's their opinion? I've always considered spies and rats. I mean, that's just part of it, man. Like, that's part of it. Having a spy and a rat come into your crew is going to be something that is always going to happen. It's always... Now, this might just be from a mafia perspective. In the mafia community, it's pretty common to find, spies and stuff like that lurking around the shadows because it's the mafia community. We're consistently trying to assassinate each other. We're consistently trying to do things like that. So obviously obviously, rats and stuff are going to be more prominent in the Mafia community. But what I will also say is that it's kind of part of the system. Having a spy come into your crew is, it's even just a tactical advantage. It's a warfare type thing. That's what you do when you have a conflict with somebody. Whether they're doing it so that they can find your politics or not, because honestly, I feel like if they wanted to know your politics like that, they would probably ask you. But considering that they're sending a spy into your crew, they're probably trying to figure out more than just, well, how does he feel about, I don't know, how does he feel about healthcare reform? I don't think that's what they're looking for. I don't think they're looking for your opinions on something. I think they're just looking to see, okay, who's his allies? What commission is he part of? How many members does he have? How many patches does he have? How many can we take? How can we kill him? That's what they're figuring out. They're in there to do that kind of thing. They're in there to do violence towards you. They're not there to figure out whether or not you support the Great Wall of Trump. That's not what they're there for. So come up with that realization, that kind of thing, because in your head. Like, just think about that for a second. Like, you'll probably think about it. Like, if you think about it for a second, you'll probably realize that. Because, it's just war. Like, that's just part of war. If you're going to fight people, say example, if with you, people square up with you. I've seen your guys fight really well. If somebody's squaring up with you and they're not winning, they're probably going to try to come up with a different way that they can sucker punch you. They're probably going to sit there and try to put a spy in your crew so they can do that. It probably isn't even necessarily going to be because of the fact that they want to do that. It's probably going to be more just spies. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to lie about it. I have spies in other crews. I've done it before. I don't have any right now, but I have had them before. And I could probably get one in another crew right now. I actually can get a crew, but I'm obviously not going to say it on a live stream because that'd be autistic. But, the fact is that, that would be, hey, by the way, no, I'm not going to do that. But point is that, spies are part of the game. And it's just going to happen. And that's part of your own, you have to be able to set up your own defense against that. Or you have to figure out a way like DJ has to use them. DJ loves to just have a spy in his crew and use them. So you just have to come up with something for him. But
I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying. My biggest thing was that I was trying to point out, though, was loyalty nowadays. Like, it's faded away so much. There's so many crew hoppers out there, it's ridiculous.
Anyways, sorry about that. Fact is, I have some grade A autism and unplugged my mic. But anyway, so, what I was saying was, fact is, though, spies are going to be part of the game, and you can't get rid of them, even if you want to. So you just have to use them, because people are going to come around and do that shit to you. Just, that's my advice. That's my 2 cents about spies and routes is they're always going to be there, so just get used to them, because it's part of conflict.
I think, rats they're stupid, in my opinion. Like, they're really fucking stupid. But I don't see why people can't use them. Like, if I send in a rat to another crew, which I never use rats because I don't see the point of them, is, like, if I did, I can get what I need and then do what I want. And that's a form of war, as you said, Don. And I think it's a good idea, but what I don't think is needed in this community is people who have no loyalty, who are only loyal to themselves. And you see that a lot in the MC community, and it's more or less something that is not needed. It's more of disrespect. This patch on my back, I've had it for years. The patch on Jalapeno's back, he's had it for years. We're loyal. Like, we are loyal people. We need more people that understand that this is a community for loyal people. I mean, if you don't like where you are, or if you're having a hard time where you are or whatnot, that's understandable. But don't jump crews to crews to crews just because you want a new pair of socks. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. I mean, I guess in my eyes, so, I've always seen it as crew hoppers have always and always will be a thing, and honestly, the Mafia community's fucking cancer with it too. I'll agree. I'll completely agree to that. But I will also say that I'll be the asshole in the party here that contradicts things occasionally. I will also say that when it comes down to crew hoppers and stuff like that, they also tend to become quickly notorious. I can think in the Mafia community of a handful of people, including a chick named Charmify, who is she's a special snowflake of any kind, and she's very well known for jumping from crew to crew. Or Karma Gigante, another chick that jumped from crew to crew. Both of them actually made their way in LCM before. And the thing is that both of them are well known but not for good reasons. And I think crew hoppers have always been capable of degrading themselves into a type of reputation where they can't stick to a crew. They're also tending to be the TDM player types. They're the ones that want to be TDM players, so they join any crew they can to try to see if it's got a good TDM lineup, and the second that they find out it either doesn't have one or doesn't have a good one, they bail. Or one that they don't like, they bail. Or one they don't click with, they bail. It is how it is. And that's how this game is. Because of how easy this game is, you're going to see people do that a lot. I honestly can't say that there's necessarily a way that that can be fixed, in my opinion, just because it is how it is. I think the only way that that can be fixed is, honestly, I'm not going to put that up to the people. I'm going to put that up to the presidents and the dons. Presidents, dons, you guys give up so fucking easily. I mean, I'm back on GTA 4, for example. I mean, people would start up and shut down immediately. It happens all the time. It always has, but you're not going to, it wasn't as consistent as now. Now you can see a Don start up and then he'll never amount down to 3 people and he just starts his crew so that he can have a higher social standing. I had a guy literally change his gamer tag. I actually looked on his feed to see this. He changed his gamer tag and literally like an hour later messaged me and said, "Hey, can I join your crew? My family shut down and I'm looking for, a crew and I want to become an underdon." Are you serious? He was trying to use the fact that he was a Don to try to get a rank. People do that. That actually happens. That's a consistent thing. People just aren't careful with it and they don't check. But the thing is that, a lot of it is leadership. Leaders out there, man. Everybody. You're going to sit there and have a bunch of degenerates running around that are going to keep on crew hopping as long as you're not a strong leader, as long as you're not compelling for people to stay. That's what's going to happen. I blame that entirely on leadership. I don't blame that necessarily on the members. Of course, there is some fault of the people who are consistently hopping from crew to crew to crew, but at the same time, it's the leader's fault for not keeping people more often. Because, there has to be a reason why so many people are doing it versus, back when, leadership kind of tended to, at least in my opinion, be stronger. But that's just me. Crews used to stick around longer too. Like I've noticed in the Mafia community back on GTA 4, I can't probably do it anymore because it's been, 4 years or so, but I remember 2013, there was like 11 different big mafias. I can think of like, I don't know, let me think of a couple. Like there was Valone, there was Gigante, there was Valachi, there was a bunch of them. There's UTM, there was LCM, there was a bunch of people. There was all these different crews there's like 11 of them. I remember counting one day, there was 11 of them. And then the most I've ever seen at one time on GTA 5 is 3. Or when there was those 5 families, there was 2 that were leading 5 family groups and calling the other ones big. But they weren't, and nobody thought of them as big, or nobody would even know who was part of that 5 family. Like, that is kind of how things have happened. There is no more, this is who's big and this is who's big. Now it's just there's maybe one big guy and then everybody else just kind of floods over here and dies off. People need to start pushing, and I think a big part of that is, like we talked about earlier, people don't push their ideas. People don't sit there and open their mouth and say, "Hey, this is my opinion, this is what I want to do." No, and they just kind of let somebody else do it. Don't do that. Showcase yourself. Be an opinion. Be a force. Let everybody see you. Go out there. Make a voice. Do that. Be a leader, not a follower. You're a Don or a president, not a prospect or an associate.
That goes into something that actually gets us back on track with the topic quite well. You're breathing into the mic pretty heavily.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. But which would be basically, it's all good. Would basically be like fucking. This isn't going to be a jab towards fucking anybody, but it is. I'm going to be naming names. So if you take it personally, that's on you. Clips. He wasn't the president of this thing, but he started this whole ride or die movement, and it was supposed to be something big and helping the community. He wasn't a president, and his fucking club shut down. Presidents went into this meeting, and their fucking club shut down. Why are you doing this kind of stuff if you can't run your club first?
Amen.
I'm not sitting here telling people not to run their club and shit like that. I'm not telling them to not do this kind of stuff. But if you can't express your ideas and run your club at the same time, think of what you're doing, put priorities somewhere, and follow that. Because as a leader, as somebody who's been here for a long time, something that is very serious when it comes down to your guys and what you do. You have to have a name with your guys and with what you want to do as a club before you start going off and trying to make a name for yourself. Like, my guys know who I am. I'm me to my guys. But if you're just starting up, and if you've been up for a week or something, and your guys don't know who you are, like, I've picked up a bunch of people in the past while, and they didn't know who I was. I wouldn't go off and fucking force them into some kind of meeting where we're doing some big shit. It's because they're just learning where they belong. As a leader, you can't do that to your guys. And you can't fucking act like all you guys are brothers, and you're the big head of the leader. Like, you're the big head leader, and your fucking opinion needs to be put out first. No, like, you need an opinion from your club, you need an opinion from you, and you need to build that first before you start putting things down. I'm not sitting here trying to exclude people. Come to me, speak to me. But I don't want you falling while speaking to me either, you know? Like, I've been in the GTA 5 community, I've been in the GTA 4 community, and I've watched people come and go, but the GTA 5 community's groups seem to fall a hell of a lot faster and a hell of a lot harder than anybody in GTA 4. Like, I think the only bigger collapse that I've seen on GTA 4 would be the Mancini crime family. Other than that, HA81 Elite was fucking huge in GTA 5. They were fucking plowing through everything that they could. I had fun fighting them because they were such a big name and all that other bullshit. But out of nowhere, snap of the finger, they're gone. They're fucking collapsed. The entire HA community's in shambles to this day because of them. How are you going to be doing stuff like that as a leader, as a president, if you do not have the drive to push forward? And I understand people have real life shit and all that other bullshit. Everybody does. But you cannot... If you want to do what the clubs with the names have done before in the future, and in the past, you have to have ambition for you and your club, and you have to make your club. Like, this doesn't just go for MCs, this goes for everybody. Think of it as if you're trying to make a new friend. If you made a new friend, right, and then you drag them along with some crazy shit, some people are into that. Some people are like, yeah, that's fucking amazing. But not everybody is. And that's the kind of thing that pushes people away and does all that other stuff. If you're recruiting people and if you're trying to bring in people to the community, try and learn your group. Try to learn your Mafia. Try to learn your MC. And be a leader. Be the person who's supposed to be in the head of your crew. And I'm not a good example. Don's not a good example. Nobody's a good example for this. Because you're not going to be me. You're not going to be Don. You're not going to be Harley. You're not going to be any other president or leader. You're going to be you. And you got to find out how to do this yourself. You got to put down your ideas. But understand, don't put down your ideas above your crew. Because then your ideas float away when your crew disappears. And I saw a lot of that. Not only at the fucking Ride or Die movement bullshit, but at a lot of meetings. Like, I have a video on my channel of this MC community meeting. Not a single club that was there, except for me, is alive today. Like, that's not good. And, I mean, shit happens. I mean, it's my job to shut down other clubs. It's everybody's job when they're at war, right? So I guess it's a good thing. But I mean, if you're going to be at these meetings, and you want to be putting down shit, make sure you're alive for a week or a month at latest, you know? Make sure you're going to be up for that long, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying, oh, if you just started up, you're not allowed in, which might be a good idea in the long run. Not for me, I mean for the people who are wanting to do this. Give yourself some time. And that's because then you get to understand more of what you want, you know?
One big thing as to what I would actually say would be a really good way to think about that isn't necessarily, you know, I mean, a big part of it is actually understanding what it is that you even want, like developing an opinion. But another part is make sure you're alive to watch it succeed. Like if you sit there and you push an opinion and you say, I want everybody to drive purple cars, and then you literally just, you know, die the next day. Okay, but now who's going to push the idea that you want purple cars in the community? Nobody, because nobody's following your belief system. Nobody's following your beliefs. Nobody actually agrees with you at that moment because you've never actually pushed the agenda. And honestly, if you can push the agenda, get everybody involved, and then just die, and the agenda will die. Until you actually have every single person involved, and you actually have it formulated and written in stone and, you know, down there, you're never going to have it go up. You're just never going to succeed because you actually have to have it solidified and, you know, locked into the community. It can't just be a talk. It can't just be a conversation. It actually has to be pushed.
Anything you want to add, Harley? Harley? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay.
I mean, just something short. Everybody's got a voice. I mean, you just, like they said it perfectly. Just use your voice. Don't be afraid to say what you gotta say. Nobody's gonna make fun of you, whatnot. Just step up and do what you gotta do.
Don't be afraid to speak to others as well. Like, in the Mafia community, that might be a bit harsh. Actually, in fucking every community nowadays, that might be a bit harsh. Just people like to boot. But, take it from somebody who's been booted multiple times. Don't be afraid of that shit. If it happens, it happens, and just move past it. Don't join that person's party again if you don't want to be booted, and that's it. But, I mean, try to speak to these people. I mean, I'm willing to sit there and fucking let anybody come in and speak to us in another, like, video or whatnot, and it's completely fine. Like, I'll live stream it, we'll speak, we'll have a debate of things that we want to talk about. If they boot me offline, they're not going to be speaking to me again, and that's on them. I'm not blacklisting them or anything, I just don't want to get booted offline. They can state what they want to state in the little chat right here, and I'll read off what they want to say. But I mean, don't be a dick, and we can fucking speak. We can all speak to each other, and you gotta push yourself out there to do the same. There's people out there who would never join a party with me because I'm an asshole. And I mean, I am an asshole. But I'm willing to fucking express things and speak to people. Like, I've had people sit there and be like, you're one of the fucking worst people I've ever met, and then they speak to me and they're like, you're not as bad as I fucking thought. What the hell? Like, everybody makes you out as a bad person. Like, what the fuck? And then it's like, it's because everybody makes this understanding that I'm an asshole. But they don't understand that I can debate, I can speak. I may be an asshole, but I'm a president. That's what a president do. Like, that's what a president does. But I can speak. I can talk, because I'm not a fucking child. I'm a leader who needs to fucking do what I gotta do. Whether that's speaking to some people, whether that's telling people off, whether that's understanding what's going on, doesn't matter. Shit talk's all fun and games. I'll shit talk all day long. But when it comes down to things that we should be talking about, I'm down to do it. Message me and be like, hey, I want to be a part of one of these videos. We can set up a date to do it and whatnot, and we'll do it. We'll debate. We'll speak. And
Words are very powerful, guys. Words are very powerful.
Indeed. And I mean, if we spoke about anything about this, and we got our opinions out, you got your opinion, I got my opinion, Don got his, Harley's got his, we'll all debate on certain things. It would go out there, and I'd upload it to our channel. Fuck it. Your opinion would be on my channel, the Lost MC's channel, and it would go out there to other people. People that like my content, people who dislike my content. You might get ears that enjoy your stuff, you know? But at least we're agreeing and disagreeing on things that we wouldn't be able to speak about beforehand, you know? And that's what's important. Whether I disagree with you and you disagree with me doesn't matter, as long as we can come down to an understanding on certain things. It's like if I got to speak, I've spoken to multiple fucking mafias, and we both agreed that we should just use ARs because we both use ARs in general, instead of just RPGing me or another MC RPGing them and whatnot, and just speak to them. We just gotta speak. And they agree, because we spoke.
And
That's all you gotta do.
And that's exactly what the Ride or Die movement is not doing. That's why it will fail.
Yeah, that's why the Ride or Die movement will fail. Not only because they exclude people, but because they want people with names only. I have seen names in different chats asking, what's going on with the Ride or Die movement? There's people in there that are supposed to be heads of the Ride or Die movement, just ignoring them, not listening to them, because they're not important to them. They're not important to speak to them. Everybody has a voice. Everybody has the right to speak. Just because I don't see you in a lobby doesn't mean you don't experience your own bullshit. Like I said before, yeah, Blue Dragon, they do fucking pick fave MCs.
They do.
Like, I got in there in a heartbeat. I had to fight to get Harley in there, and Harley had to fight to get himself in there. And I think that's bullshit. Harley has just as much of a say as I do. Anybody has just as much as a say as I do. Whether I like their opinion or not. And it's like, it's fucking, in my opinion, stupid. Because they're getting all these people with names. Outcast Reapers, fucking, they tried to get E5, HLMC, HRMC, you know, people who they wanted in there. And they just fucking kept other people out. Yeah, they made 3 chats. I was in one of them. No, I was in 2 of them, but one of them, which was the meeting chat, one of them, which was the Ride or Die meeting, the main one, the quote-unquote real one, and then there was another RODM chat that nothing happened in. And it was just really fucking stupid on how they kept people out. Hold on.
You ain't wrong though.
Yeah, problems.
I mean, they were gonna put me in the second meeting, and I basically had to fight for me to get in that first meeting. Just because Clips didn't know who I was. Yet nobody knows who Clips is. He's just trying to make a name for himself. Favoritism's it's not even fair. Like, it can only take you so far, but in the end, nobody voted for who to be the hierarchy in that meeting. Everybody should have been the same hierarchy. Everybody should have had the same amount of what they could say and what they couldn't say. What the fuck is wrong with Twitch?
But getting back into what was said, well, what was supposed to be saying. I was in 2. One of them, people had no idea what the fuck was going on. It was the meeting thing. These were all people who were quote-unquote being screened to be getting into the meeting. They'd sit there and talk, like, when's the meeting going on? When's the meeting? What time's the meeting? They weren't spoken to. Nobody fucking answered them. They were basically told to nothing. They weren't told anything. I would sit there and speak to them. I'd be like, hey, if you want, I can try and speak to people to get you into the meeting. Just give me your name and whatnot. And I was ignored. Nobody would fucking speak to me. I got kicked out of that one for disagreeing with somebody. And then I got kicked out of disagreeing with Bax. And then I got kicked out of the Ride or Die movement one for disagreeing with Bax. I didn't speak to Bax in the Ride or Die movement. He kicked me out because I disagreed with him in this unrelated chat that they kept to people who weren't important, quote unquote. It's favoritism. It's selective bullshit. You can't select a group of people and expect a community to change. Just because I got a name, just because ORMC's got a name, just because anybody in that fucking thing has got a name, does not mean they deserve to be there over other people. I might see fucking another crew more than I see the people in that fucking thing. And you know what? They wouldn't have been invited because some people didn't know them. It's like, fuck off with that shit. You might not see me in a lobby as much as you see other people. And you know what? Those people might have not been allowed in the fucking meeting because I have a name and they don't, quote unquote. That's bullshit. It's 100% bullshit. And it's
Probably
like...
didn't help when I called him a bitch. Just saying. That probably didn't help at all.
Yeah, of course
for you.
not.
Yeah.
But I got kicked because of your bullshit. But it wasn't just that, like... You
Was
said
he in
one
the
thing.
moment?
Well, you said one thing, and we got fucking removed. Like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been kicked. I should have been spoken to, and you should have been removed, and it would have been fine. I mean, I disagreed with Bax. I didn't say anything rude against them. So, I mean, it's fucking stupid. Selective bullshit shouldn't be in a movement, I guess you could say. If Jalapeno left and started up his own MC, as much as I'd want to fucking shoot him, he should be allowed to go to a fucking quote-unquote ride or die meeting and speak about what he feels. You know?
Right. Frank's lot, just so you know, they should have accepted other people's opinions, and the reason why they don't understand that is because they're single-minded and stubborn. Frank's lot, so you know, they should have accepted other reason why.
I think FOMC was trying to get in there, and they ignored them, from my understanding. Is that true, Blue? Because I understand that you were in one of the fucking chats, but were you in the original Ride or Die movement chat? Okay.
Yeah, he was.
Okay. I didn't see him in any of the meetings. Was he in any of the fucking meetings?
I don't know. I know I invited him to one of the chats, though.
Nah, okay. Were you in any of the meetings, Blue? And that is a good point, Frank. If we're going to be taking time to shoot at each other, we should be able to speak to each other, at least if it comes down to respect-based thing. And yeah, you weren't invited to any of the meetings, huh? Yeah, that's the thing that really bugged me. Like, they sat there and they invited, like, it was supposed to be a selective group of people that was going to the first meeting, and then they invited somebody else. So I fought for Harley to get in there, because if Harley's not going to be allowed in there and they're going to allow another club in there, they can go fuck themselves, right? Harley got in, and everything went pretty calm. It was alright. Other than some trashy people. Other than some trashy people who wanted to be friends and hug trees and shit. It was all good. Then the whole aspect came to them that they were going to follow suit with this whole tree-hugging bullshit, and everybody there was a friend. Nobody agreed on this. But everybody was your friend all of a sudden, and I didn't sit down with any of these people. I didn't have a meeting with any of them. I didn't get a say in any of that. But you know what? Fuck me, right? Because I'm your friend, because we're in Ride or Die. No, that's not how it works. And I'm never gonna fucking sit there and actually do something like that. If, like, I need to know who I'm dealing with. There's people who come to me a lot. Like, oh, we should do a sit down. Oh, we should be cool. I don't know these people. I've never rode with them. I've never fought them. How am I going to be cool with them, you know? I don't know if they're a rat, in the rat sense of if they're going to shoot me in the back one day. I don't know if they're going to be something jackass who's just going to put a bad name to me. I don't know what they're going to do. So I won't chill with them. But if they came to me and asked me to speak to me about what they want to do, fuck it, I'll do it. If they're a part of the community that I play in, fuck it. Why shouldn't I speak to them? We're all in the same community anyways. You wear a suit, you wear a suit. You wear a leather vest or a jacket, you wear a leather vest or a jacket. You wear military garb, you wear military garb. Doesn't matter. As long as we're all fucking shooting ARs and shit. I mean, militaries fucking use jets and shit too. And that's a different debate for a different time. But I mean, had military as fucking AR me, and you know what? That's all fun and games, no matter who they are. Please not play stuff into the mic. But yeah, that's all fun and games, no matter who they are. And I don't know. That's an iffy subject. Don, are you still there? Is your mic muted?
Before the Ride or Die movement ended, like, a lot of people dropped their KOSs and ceasefires with other crews and stuff like that, so they could all just hug it out. Like, if I'm shooting at you, I'm shooting at you. Like, you're gonna get all butthurt about it, get all butthurt. I don't care. No, I'm not. Want to be cool, we can be cool. If not, then whatever. I'm not here to make friends with everybody, then who the hell am I gonna shoot?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the point. Like, how are you gonna fix the community if nobody's fucking fighting each other so we can fix something? Like, if me and Harley are sitting here and we both disagree that that we should stop RPGing each other or whatnot, and we should use these exact weapons, then why the fuck aren't we just sitting there using those weapons on each other? I joined that meeting till AR. Not to sit there and RPG people off of bikes and shit. But no, they expected us to be friends, and that's the way we're supposed to fix the community. No. What? That doesn't make sense. How am I going to fix the community if nobody's doing what we want to fix? It's just something I don't understand. Like, you can't fix a community if you're not fucking doing what you want to fix. If you're just gonna all be friends, what's the point of being in the community? Like, let's go play Red Dead Redemption and play in passive lobbies only. What? There's a reason why nobody was running a fucking friendly fire off lobby crew in GTA 4. Unless you're doing it for fucking roleplay reasons or video reasons, you're not doing it. But that's basically what I have to say on that subject. Jalapeno, do you have anything you want to say?
No, I'm cool.
No,
Wee Man, you've been sitting here. Wee Man, you've been sitting in here. Is there anything you'd like to say if your mic's working with the stream?
I think it's working with the stream, but no, I don't have anything I want to say. Everything I had in mind was pretty much brought up.
Alright, for sure. Yeah, it's working with the stream. Okay.
You guys want to hear a joke?
Not really.
RODM.
Okay, that was pretty good.
What are those?
But, oh my lord. Did Don disappear? If there's anything from his side, it would be a good idea to express, but if he said everything, then oh well. But, I think I've expressed majority of what I had to say. Is there anything you want to bring up, Harley? In general?
Not really.
Alright. Basically, fucking Katie, are you serious? Mustangs? No, just stop. But, in general, I will state, as somebody from the GTA 4 community, and I will quote the leader of BAXE, the MC of Battle Axes. You listen to an OG from GTA 4, these people know what they're saying, so you sit down, you shut up and listen to them. They know what they're saying, so show some respect. Well, guess what, Bax? I'm sitting here saying this. Ride or Die movement fucking sucks, and it's gonna fall. You don't know why? Because it's people like you. It's people who can't even handle the fact that MCs are a part of this community, whether you like it or not. Just because you don't fucking see them does not mean nobody else does. Just because I don't see you in a lobby does not mean I don't see fucking everybody else in the community. I could see, I fought ORMC last night. But does that mean I'm fucking, what they're doing it bleeds onto you? No. So why does that work with every other community in your eyes, eh? and to basically fucking make people understand. I don't actually think that way. Don't shut up when I'm fucking speaking. Fucking, I'm the same as everybody else. Don't do that shit. I was just using his own quote against him because don't fucking suck ass. Don't be a fucking brown noser. It's gross. Anyways, yeah, I think that's about it. And I think the things that need to be said have been said about Ride or Die movement. I'm planning on having a talk like this, I don't know, maybe a month down the line, maybe a few weeks even. If you want to be a part of this, if you're a Mafia and you want to speak to me, if you want... Actually, I'll put this down right now. If you are an MC and you support working with Mafias, even if it's in a... Okay, if you can stop blasting things through the mic.
Sorry, it's to add.
Oh, okay, mute your mic. But if you are an MC and you want to... if you want to basically work with Mafias, whether it's respectful or friendly or not, or if you want to speak to them in the matter of keeping things legitimate, getting ARs and whatnot, message me. I will get you in contact with Mafias. Mafias that will actually speak to you. This would be a thing that fixes not only the MC community and all our rights, but the Mafia community. The GTA community, in a sense, for the fact that Trump was all about building walls, but I'll state this now. Let's break down these walls, fucking make GTA great again, and let's fucking do some shit. I think it's more fun when more communities are involved because there's more faces in the community. There's more differentiation, or whatever. I can't speak English, but there's more to the community. Go ahead.
About the whole Trump thing. Do you follow the Union MC on Instagram?
Yeah, I saw that shit.
He made his character look like Trump.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
I mean, all I gotta say to
fucking orange with hair.
All I gotta say to Bax is, oh, I thought I saw a putty cat. Oh wait, I did see a putty cat.
Fuck.
Jack, you can go fuck yourself. And with your birds.
I thought I saw a putty cat.
Anyways, yeah, like, if you're an MC and you want to deal with Mafias, whether you like them or not, speak to me. We can get shit done. I can probably get us a backbone to speak to them, I guess you could say, because 1 MC, 2 MCs, 3 MCs, 4 MCs won't do shit. They won't fucking listen to that. But if we get maybe a good 8 people, 8 MCs that are willing to speak to the Mafia community in a respectful manner, they'll listen to us. And we can all have respect on the matter of what we want to do. And to the fucking Mafias who think they're down to chill with some MCs, message me as well. I'm down. My gamer tag's right there at the top of the list. If you want to message me, go ahead. I am down to speak to everybody. I am willing to speak to you. And if you want to debate me, let me know and I might set something up with you. If a bunch of people message me, it might get a little hectic and it might be a little hard. I don't want to get a bunch of people in a party so we're all screaming over each other, but I do want to get people just put down their opinions so that way we can all debate on what's going on in the community, because it's not just me in this community, it's not just LCMX Dawn, it's just not just Harley, it's not just ORMC, it's not just Reaper Lore, it's everybody. Everybody's in this fucking community.
Like I said,
whether
everyone's
you
got
like
a
it or
voice.
not.
Use your voice. It's the most powerful thing you got.
Blue's down.
Brian's down. Who's Brian?
Blue. Brian was down for getting jumped into an MC.
Fucking guy. Okay. Also, if you're a military and you want to speak to us, I'm down to speak to militaries as well.
Blue's down to talk.
Yeah, I saw that one. Oh, I'm willing to speak to Blue as well.
Fuck that.
I'll hit you up, Blue, if anything. Fuck you. I'll hit you up if anything's going down, like if we're having a stream or whatnot. We'll probably get a good meeting going down. The next topic will be about the GTA community and what things get GTA fucking good and what makes GTA shit. I'll probably being my old grumpy self and complaining about how shit GTA 5 is. But that's just a base topic. Of course, we went off topic in this video, but you need a base to start off of, and I think that would be a good base for the next video, and that's where we will start off of. And if there's anything you want to bring up, just for sure bring it up and see how it goes. For the fact that it won't be an issue.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with the whole
Everybody
RODM
give the-
thing. Alright, go
There's
ahead,
that.
Harley.
I was just gonna say everybody give a fuck you to the RODM.
I was just gonna say that Forgotten Riders was part of RODM, and they RPG'd me on foot.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's a given. Like, in general, the GTA community, no matter how many people we speak to, there will still be people, bad seeds in the community, who won't listen to us. Because not everybody wants to listen. Like, we could speak to Scar right now, and they're probably just going to tell us to go fuck ourselves, right? So, I mean, there will always be those who don't like what we have to say, but at least we can get groups that respect each other enough to put down what should be going on, or what we want to go on as in general. And I don't mean what we want to go on as in we're more important, but I mean what we want to go on as in the community in general. Everybody that we can get in. And I mean, I'm not trying to put other people ahead of anybody. If you want to state something that you're against, go ahead and say it. As long as we can all come down to an agreement on certain things. And, yeah, I think that's about it. I will, state now that, RODM is a shitty fucking movement. And, it's gonna shut down. And everybody in that movement, whether you, well, that's actually pretty damn good. Whether you like it,
Right.
whether you like it or not, understand that I'm gunning for the people who think that they can run that shit. So that means rabbits. If I ever see you in a lobby, I've never seen you once. That means backs. So understand backs. I'm gunning for you, and I've hit ORMC pretty damn hard. That they should understand that they're going to be shut down pretty soon. At least in the fucking competitive market. But that's just me talking shit. Prove me wrong. Let's see how it goes. Don't fail me. Don't disappoint me. Let's see how it goes. The Order sends the regards.